We're back for a Chris McPherson Show Daily Dose. It has been a little while between drinks, that is for sure, but it's time to get together and talk about some cricket. And there's a lot happening in the cricket sphere, especially in the Australian cricket sphere at the moment. We're going to kick things off talking about the Australia versus South Africa series happening in the tropical north of Australia at the moment. And it's been quite a series so far. The Aussies getting the T20s done 2-1, an enthralling win in the final game there. So it was great to see us getting that series wrapped up, winning the final game, the first of the matches played in Cairns for the series. But we're going to focus in today on the one-dayers, and it was an interesting one. South Africa coming in again at Cairns, and I certainly don't think either side understood how much the pitch was going to turn. That is for sure when we have a look at this one. The Aussies, we bowled first. It was an option that we took, despite the fact that we didn't field a second frontline spinner, if you will. We ended up using Marnus Labuschagne and Travis Head. Head actually bowled before Adam Zampa, and I tell you what, Travis Head took 4 wickets for 57 from his 9 overs, and that was the highlight for the Aussies. The South Africans got off to a really good start. They got some good scores, a few half centuries in there. I think 3 players in total. Markram getting 82, Temba Bavuma, the captain, getting 65, and Matthew Breitsk getting 57 at essentially a run a ball. So that really set the platform, and they're a long way gone. They were 4 for 224 when Tristan Stubbs ended up departing. We didn't see the best of Dewalt Brevis this time around in his debut in the one-dayers. A little bit of Vian Mulder at the end, the man who set that massive score in the test format recently and then declared not wanting to break the record of Brian Lara and those above him, including the Matthew Hayden 380 score either. He got 31 late. That really added to their tally at more than a run of ball and saw them fall just short of 300, which, to be fair, from what we'd seen in Cairns previously, probably expecting around 260 to 275 was going to be the par, and South Africa had a really strong position. And I think it really talked to the fact that Australia probably could have used someone like a Matt Kuhnemann on this surface, and that was further exemplified in the South African bowling innings. The Aussies got off to a really solid start. They were 1 for 60 when Travis Head departed for 27. Mitchell Marsh ended up playing a lone hand as Keshav Maharaj absolutely tore through the Australian top and middle order. Labuschagne for 1, Green for 3, Inglis for 5, Alex Carey for a first ball duck. He also got Aaron Hardy for a 10-ball 4. And the Aussies were absolutely reeling at 6 for 89 after 16 overs, and it was almost done from there. Ben Dwarshuis came in with Mitchell Marsh, and they did provide a little bit of a rear guard action, which really helped things along. But unfortunately, it was just a little too late as the South Africans turned the screws. Subrayan going at just 4.6 and over. Maharaj from his 10 overs, 5 for 33, including a maiden. And we just really struggled. Once Marsh fell at 8 for 174, it was obvious that it was going to be far too much of a leap over those remaining sort of 13 and a bit overs for us to chase down another 120 with very little in the shed. Nathan Ellis tried his hardest. He swung the bat hard, but then he departed as well. And once Ellis, he got done by an off-spinner from Lungi Ngidi, which was the pace bowlers were even bowling off-spin at that point. It was starting to become a little bit comical. Ngidi also then got Adam Zampa, and that was the end of it, really. The Aussies just falling far too far short. 98-run victory for the South Africans. It's back to the drawing board, though, as they do head to Mackay. Australia has won the first game at each of the venues on this tour so far. They won the first T20 in Darwin before losing the second. They won the first T20 in Cairns. They're out of the series before losing the first one-dayer in Cairns. They now head to Mackay and need to win both games to win the one-day series. It'll be interesting to see what that surface dishes up, if it's going to be as dry and crumbly as the Cairns surface was, or if it's going to be a little bit more conducive to some pace bowling. If it is conducive to some pace bowling, that could really liven things up. We will see what happens when they head to Great Barrier Reef Arena at Mackay. It will be one to watch. Looking forward to how this series plays out across the next 2 games for the Aussies. The games will be on Friday. Again, a day-nighter in Mackay, into Sunday, a day-nighter. So a little bit of a break at the moment with this show coming out the day after the first one. We've got 2 days before we get into those. So really looking forward to those. But while we're talking cricket, it would be remiss of us not to recap a little bit of other things happening in the cricket world. And the Aussie A women have been playing India A up there in Queensland as well. Games in Mackay originally with the T20s, which the Aussies took a clean sweep of. But then the one day as the India A side bounced back in those and did really well. Australia A won the last of those, but India A have done well to take that series 2-1. And look, it was impressive from them in terms of the one-dayers. We saw Alyssa Healy again in form. Yastika Bhatia was really good for India. Minu Mani was another one for India with the ball, who I was really impressed with. Radha Yadav as well. So the Aussies fielding a bit of a different lineup when you look at what, I guess, the shape of the one-dayers. We had Annika Leroyd in there. Talia Wilson as well. Just starting to have a look at what those next generation might be. We did see Talia McGrath play in some of the games as well, but the Aussie A team just going back to the drawing board, just mixing it up a little bit, getting some time, I should say, back into Alyssa Healy, which is obviously key. She got 137 not out in one of those games as well. So there's certainly runs there for Alyssa Healy, which is great to see her back in form. A good test for the Aussie girls. We do now head into the final match of the series, though, which is going to be the focus. And this is a great chance for some red ball cricket for both sides. It'll kick off tomorrow, being Thursday. It's an unofficial 4-day test. It will be played from 9:30 tomorrow in Brisbane. Tomorrow being Thursday. This will come out Wednesday night for you if you're tuning in a little bit later. Really looking forward to seeing how this will play out. It's going to be an interesting one in Queensland. Continues this series on, continues on the early start to the summer of cricket, and we're really looking forward to it. So the Aussie women, it'll be a great chance, as I said, to get some more red ball. We'll see what the squad looks like. They'll name that tomorrow morning, the final 11. But again, a chance to come back and get things moving. Australia A 5 from 5 undefeated across their last 5 unofficial tests. They've played England A and India A and England in those tests. So we've got a really good record over India A. In the last few years, we've won the 3 last times that we've played. So 2024 and then back to 2 in 2018 in October. So looking forward to seeing how this shapes up. Australia will head in as favourites. But again, it's just more about that development piece. It's great to see more A cricket being played. We saw the Aussie A men. They played up in Darwin against Sri Lanka earlier this year. They're heading over to India shortly as well. So it's just great to see this next generation of cricket and cricketers, I should say, getting some more time. So really looking forward to that. Next stop in terms of talking about what's happening in the cricket world, let's have a look at some of the Aussie performers that are doing quite well in some of the overseas, we'll call them T20 leagues. Well, let's start with the women's 100 over in England. I did say T20 leagues. Well, we'll call it a quasi T20 league, the 100. And the Aussie women are certainly starring at the moment with 5 games gone for most of the sides at this point. Meg Lanning leads all the run scorers for the Oval Invincibles. She is top of the pops with 202, a high score of 85. She's been quite strong, a couple of 50s so far from the 5 games. She's led well for them. She's averaging 40 and is, as I said, leading the run scorers. But next best, Grace Harris. She's the one for me that you want to be watching at the moment when you look at this. Grace Harris leading not only with a high score of 89 not out, she's leading the averages at 66.33. She's also leading the strike rate at almost 181. She's got 199 runs, just 3 runs shy of Meg Lanning at the moment. So, certainly interested to see how she continues to star. She's going really well for the London Spirit at the moment and is putting her name up in lights when it comes to the run scoring. Unsurprisingly, Beth Mooney also on the list of top run scorers. She's got 155 from 6 innings, a top score of 70 so far. Ash Gardner, a 50 to her name as well. She's been a little bit up and down, but has 130 runs at a strike rate of 145. So, again, the Aussie women doing really well. Phoebe Litchfield's up there. She's got a 50 to her name. She's striking at a bit over 150. So lots of these Aussie women starring. Lots of the other international stars as well, the likes of Marizanne Kapp, Laura Woolvart as well, doing really well. But lots of Aussies doing really well. Litchfield is there for the Northern Superchargers. Mooney as well for the Manchester Originals. So some names to watch. Keep an eye on the 100. It's if you're an early riser, it's great. It's on KO at the moment. You can check it in the mornings, get in and watch those games. The girls' games tend to be before the men's in the doubleheader, so they're quite early. The men's sort of around sort of a 3 or 4 a.m. start. Speaking of the 100, while we're still on that, obviously the women's with the ball as well. We've got some Aussies that are doing their best there. Lauren Bell, the English star, is leading the way, but we've got a few of the Aussie women that are bowling well as well from that point of view. Amanda Jane Wellington, probably one of the lead stars. She has 5 wickets to her name so far. So we're really seeing her do her bit. She's probably the best of the Aussie bowlers looking through at a quick fly through. So one to watch is some of the others, Amelia Kerr, Sophie Devine as well. The Kiwis doing their bit, but certainly starring more with the bat than the ball, the Aussie women in the 100 at the moment. So we'll wait and see what continues to come of that. Certainly for the 100 men, there's not as many Aussies in action. We're seeing the likes of the Rashid Khans, who we obviously see dominate the Big Bash, often for the Adelaide Strikers, leading the way. When we look at the run scorers, Aussies that are there, Davey Warner, 165 runs, 250s to his name. He's playing for the London Spirit from his 5 games. Striking at 134, probably a little less than he might like, but certainly doing well for them. There's plenty of other names there in terms of international stars. Ashton Turner, probably the next best, yet to get to 50, but averaging just over 21. Striking at 163, though. We know that he's a really good late order hitter, so he'll be one to watch as he comes into the Big Bash. As I said, not as many of the Aussies playing in the 100. We've got a few of the Aussies, though, that are certainly doing quite well with the ball. When we have a look at the likes of Riley Meredith and Marcus Stoinis, both have 7 wickets there. Now, Marcus Stoinis in one of the games playing for the Trent Rockets, 2 for none from his spell. So that's some fair stuff. But Jason Berendorf is the standout there. 8 wickets so far from his 5 games, including a best of 3 for 20. A strike rate quite low. He's averaging about 10.8 and economy rate of 6 and a strike rate of 10 as well. So Berendorf, I think he's sitting equal 4th in terms of the wicket takers so far early in the competition. So some names certainly to watch out for, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing what they can continue to deliver. Good to see some Aussies getting some more experience in some of these tournaments, making their name and continuing to build up as they head towards a T20 World Cup. Potentially we might see some of these names. Obviously not a David Warner or a Marcus Stoinis, but maybe a Riley Meredith coming back into the mix. We've also got the Carribean Premier League going on. Not a lot of Aussies in action there. There's a few quasi-Aussies. Colin Munro has spent quite a lot of time so far in the tournament as well in Australia, in the Big Bash, I should say. Tim David is, of course, over there. He got 46 from 23 balls and his 1 knock so far. Dan Sams, the other man who's over there, he's got 1 wicket so far. We're very early in that tournament when we have a look at it. Tim David plying his trade over there, though, after playing for Australia in the T20. Doing his best in terms of that competition and looking at what he can deliver for the St. Lucia Kings. As I said, Dan Sams over there, not a lot to talk about from him, though, but Tim David's hit the ground running. Benny McDermott as well, is the other one. He's had 1 knock, 75 from 75 balls. So it's just sort of in and out for most of these Aussies that are getting over there and having a quick hit. There's plenty of other names over there as well. The Quinton de Koks of the world, Alex Hales as well, who we see plenty of in the Big Bash. But as I said, the Caribbean Premier League so far, early days there in terms of, we're only a handful of games into the competition. And, we'll wait and see what comes more of it. St Kitts and Nevis Patriots have played 4 games, so they've kind of thrown their numbers out a little bit, but a lot of the teams only 1 or 2 games in really early days. St Lucia Kings on top of the table at the moment. We'll see what comes of it. Obviously, some of these players will settle in some more, and those games will play through to about the 14th of September for the regular season. All the teams will have 10 games to play and then into the playoffs. So we'll keep an eye on the Aussies there as we do some more updates and head forward, and we'll keep an eye on those ones in the 100 as well as all the ones that are pushing towards our domestic seasons. We're going to have, obviously, the Sheffield Shield getting underway. We've got some more Australia A cricket happening as well. We've got the rest of this Australia versus South Africa series, the Australia A versus India A women's test coming, as we touched on earlier. So there's so much to pick apart. lots of Aussies doing lots around the globe, and there's lots of cricket to keep you up to date with and lots of cricket to watch. So keep enjoying your cricket. We look forward to bringing you some more daily doses in the coming days and weeks. We'll be covering off the NBL Blitz next week a little bit as well, talking a little bit about that as we build towards the NBL season. Keeping you up to date with the cricket and a few other pieces where we feel it's relevant, as well as our Around the Grounds episodes, the weekly episodes each Thursday at 6 p.m. And, of course, you can stay up to date with everything The Chris McPherson Show on our social media channels, on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Facebook at The Chris Mack Show is where you can find us. But until our next episode, thank you for tuning in. Remember, we'll bring you the black and white of all your sport. No great opinions here. We look forward to talking to you soon.